you should be able to see comments over here as they come in. I'm pretty sure you can. So you should be able to see comments over here as they come in. I'm pretty sure you can. The mouse still works. So you should be able to see comments over here as they come in. I'm pretty sure you can. The mouse still works. You should be able to see comments over here. I think I moved it come in. I'm pretty sure you can. The mouse still works. You should be able to see
looks like
comments over here.
I think I moved
as they come in. I'm pretty sure you can.
Hey, what up, Adair? What up, Zelican? Welcome in, you guys.
I'm pretty sure you
So,
can.
we got a special treat. Kim and I are deciding to
I'm pretty sure you
do
can.
some tag team stuff. Special treat. Kim and I are deciding to do some tag team stuff. Welcome, Kim, to the podcast, to the live stream.
Thank you so much for having me. Sup, sobers?
Echoing.
Oh no.
Let me pull it up so I can hear it.
I wonder if it would help if I move just a little bit.
Alright, let's see what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Your life is actually kind of glitching out on my iPad.
Oh no.
Like there's like
Sounds good to me. Special treat. Kim and I are deciding to do some tag team stuff. Welcome, Kim, to the podcast, to the live stream.
Thank you so much for
Okay,
having
buddy.
me. Sup, sobers?
live,
Thank
dude.
you.
Alright, I think it's fixed. I think mine has just been the
Oh
mics.
no.
Sounds good to me. Oh yeah, I see. It's randomly doing it.
I wonder if it would help if I move just a little bit.
Alright, let's see what it sounds like.
Yeah.
your life is actually kind of glitching out on my iPad.
Oh no.
Like there's like
Sounds good to me. Special treat. Kim and I are deciding to do some tag team stuff. Welcome, Kim, to
Alright, well, welcome in, you guys. Let me know if it gets
messed up again.
Thank
I
you
don't
so
know what
much
the
for
deal
having
is.
me. Sup, sobers?
live,
Thank
dude.
you.
Can you talk into yours? See if it's maybe that.
Alright,
I think it's fixed. I think mine has just been the mics.
Okay. Testing, testing.
Oh yeah, I see. It's randomly doing it. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out
Wonder
the
if it
echo,
would
you
help if
guys.
I
It's always something different every live stream.
move just a little bit.
Alright, let's see what it sounds like.
Maybe
Yeah.
because
it's actually kind of glitching.
Is there a mic on the iPad or anything?
Maybe that fixed it. I don't think it's the mic on the iPad. I thought maybe it's because it's playing through the computer. And maybe it's picking up the sound from the live stream that's playing on the computer. I'm not sure. Let's look. Alright, well, it's not even pulled up. Okay. Bodhi said, "Hi, Mom." All right, what do you guys
Hi,
think?
cutie.
What do you guys think so far? Sorry for the issues. Hopefully, we didn't lose a ton of people, but we'll see what it sounds like. Okay. Bodhi said, "Hi, Mom." All right, what do you guys think? Thanks, Adair. What do you guys think so far? Sorry for the Thanks for hyping it up. We need that. Can you say something?
Hello.
We'll see what it sounds like.
Hello. Sup, sobers?
Thanks, Adair. Thanks for hyping it up. We need that. Can you say something?
Hello.
See what it sounds like. We're trying out these new mics, you guys, because the new microphones, it's this little DJI mic I got for my birthday. So we're trying to use that instead so that Kim and I can both talk.
Oh yeah. Wow,
Trying out these new mics, you guys, because the new microphones, it's this little DJI mic I got for my birthday. So we're trying to use that instead so that Kim and I can both talk. I guess I just don't understand what is causing. Maybe if we mute the screen. Thanks for your help, you guys, in figuring this out. Yeah, I don't know, it's kind of weird. The microphone thing is always so annoying. Everything has a microphone. All right, well, let's just try this out. We'll figure it out as we go. Thanks for your help, you guys, in figuring this out. Make sure that it's not looping again. But I wanted to start talking about the ocean just in general.
yeah, we get a lot of comments and people who are curious about Nick saying Pacific instead of specific, and the Pacific Ocean instead of the Pacific Ocean. And I saw a comment the other day on one of the TikToks that you had posted, and somebody was saying something to the effect of like, did he realize he said that? And I told Nick that it'd be funny if we like, or not funny, but like cool or fun if we like kind of dove into why you say that, and also just like the Pacific Ocean. I mean, there's theories surrounding everything, it seems like these days. So I figured, why wouldn't there be anything mysterious about the Pacific Ocean? And sure enough, there was. I Googled fun facts about the Pacific Ocean, and I learned quite a bit.
Yeah, and it's funny because I had never really even thought to do something like that. Like something as trivial as my silly joke that we use on our live stream or on our channel being just an indication. But yeah, Kim's like, there's got to be a reason why we're drawn to that, why it's so funny to us, and like, I don't know. And honestly, we really just started doing it because it got engagement. Like, or I really kept doing it because it got engagement. I started doing it just because, but yeah, I don't know. I figured why not keep going with it, and then I get more comments on there than anything. And now I use it as a way to like push people to the shirts. I'll just comment like, they're like, you said Pacific instead of specific, and it makes me really mad, which happens a lot. I get those comments all the time. But I'll just comment with my Pacific Ocean Sobering Stories t-shirt. So yeah, I think it's hilarious, and I'm glad that a lot of you guys do too. And so yeah, the Pacific thing isn't going anywhere. But we did want to dive into the Pacifics of the Pacific Ocean tonight.
Wait. Really quick, just so that everyone knows where that like originated. So the first time I had ever heard of like Pacific instead of specific or whatever, I saw a meme that said, can you be more Pacific? And so I like looked into like where that meme originated, and I guess it was like a Yahoo Answers post, and somebody asked, how big is the Pacific Ocean? And they pinned the best comment that was, can you be more Pacific? So I guess that's where it all started in 2010.
Well, and now you guys, I'm sure you hear it all the time now, but people that talk online, you'll hear it all the time. People are like, Pacific, and I don't know if they're being serious or not, but yeah, it's kind of silly that people actually conflate those two words. But it is a really funny joke, and I can't even take credit for the Pacific Ocean shirts because I can't remember the dude's name, but he actually commented Pacific Ocean, and I was like, that's legendary. I don't know how I didn't think of that myself. That's great. Cool. But anyways, so that's kind of the history of the Pacific thing. If you guys were ever wondering or curious, like why that happens, like why does he do this every time? It really got me good when I did it on Ron's, when I was doing those live streams with Ron. It really got me good doing it on there because he never mentioned it once. But yeah, I will forever do it. I don't know. And sometimes I do it in real life. It's kind of funny, like accidentally. And it almost feels wrong to say specific. But just a little fun fact for you guys, 90% of the time when I'm recording, I'll say specific and then I'll have to stop and then re-record it, changing it to Pacific. So there's extra effort that goes into the Pacifics.
You're dedicated.
All right, well, that's enough about specific Pacifics, but I wanted to start off talking about the ocean in general, because as I was thinking about just the Pacific Ocean and all the weird stuff that is in the Pacific, well, just the ocean in general, it's like what is it? How much of the Earth is water? Like 70% of the Earth is water, or 60%? Here, let's look it up real quick.
Yeah, like 75% or something. Maybe even more than that, actually. It's probably like even higher.
And you guys, chat, this is meant to be an engaging, interactive kind of a thing. I've got the chat big on here so I can read it. So if you guys want to chime in with stuff, or you guys are curious about something, want us to look into something, definitely let us know and we'll look into it and discuss it and figure out what the hell's going on, because I don't know, I feel like the Pacific Ocean has there's a lot of stuff that could be talked about with all of the different oceans, but what? No, oh, okay, I was like, what? 96.5% water. It says about 71% of the Earth's surface is covered by water.
There we go.
Only 3.5% is fresh water. It's pretty crazy. So that would leave, what, 67.5 or something of like ocean, like straight ocean salt water.
Yeah.
That's a ton of water.
It's a lot of water.
That's most of the planet. I mean, if you're not counting like the core and all that, but you're talking about like the surface area of the planet, it's most of the planet. And I was like, where did this water even come from? Like, where did this water get here from? And there's some pretty interesting theories about it, but I guess they've done a lot of testing with like actual comets and like big asteroids that have landed on Earth, and they'll test the sediments and the composition of said comet or asteroid, and they've realized that a lot of the same components that exist within these comets and asteroids are the very same components that exist in the ocean. Like if you break down the ocean water into all the different minerals and stuff that's in there, then they discovered that they have the same like chemical makeup and properties, obviously just in a different form. And so back in the Ice Age, when the dinosaurs were still roaming around, or before the Ice Age, when dinosaurs were still roaming around, the Earth was hot as shit. There was a massive ice comet, I guess, that hit the Earth, which is what, I don't know if that's the one that made the dinosaurs go extinct or what, but that's where this water comes from, is this comet that's filled with ice. And when it landed here on planet Earth, the intense heat of the planet started melting all of this ice, I guess. I as I was reading this, was like not convinced. I'm like, how big was this comet that 60% of our ocean, or of our planet, is now covered in water from this comet? That just seems impossible. It doesn't make any sense. And so I was asking, like, is this just theory or is this fact? And Grok was like, no, these are facts. Like, it's been proven with hard science. And that's what he said, was like the chemical composition matches. But I feel like a lot of things from space are going to match things here on Earth, because like even us, we're made of stardust and star pieces and parts. So like, I'm not super convinced. I'm kind of curious what you have to say about the comet theory, or I guess the comet fact, Kim.
Man, I don't know. That's interesting, but my mind does go to like the stories that are told in the Bible. And I guess like when I kind of dove down into this Pacific Ocean like rabbit hole, I discovered that there's like, I guess, a place called Tartaria, and I don't know a ton about it, but in some of the stories that I've heard of people telling, like sharing online, they say that like there were like giant human beings before us, or like they were similar to human beings, I guess, like they were very intelligent, and then they were like covered in the flood, like Noah's, I don't know.
Noah's Ark.
I don't know the Bible very well, honestly, but
Kim
yeah,
grew up Mormon.
that one flood that took everyone out.
Yo,
according to the
Ron's in the
Bible.
chat. What up, Ron? So sick to see you not on the other side of the screen, I guess. Hell yeah, thanks for joining, bro.
Yeah, someone said Noah's flood. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, and I feel like most cultures have a flood story. Like, it's not just Christianity in the Bible. Like, there's flood stories that, like, every culture has a flood story of the earth. So they're definitely, like, I feel like there had to be a flood at some point. And I think the oceans are officially, like, 300 meters higher than they were, like, I can't remember how long ago, but the oceans definitely have risen. And that's why they're attributing it to global warming, because of the ice caps melting and all the snow that's everywhere is melting. But I'm still like stuck on this where did the water come from thing. That shit's insane. We first need to know the structure of the ocean floor. They're going way back. So I still want to figure out, I don't feel like that explained anything. Scientists believe the formation of the oceans did not occur until long after the Earth was originally formed. On top of this, they do not believe that they formed all at once. It took millions of years. Process known as degassing. Okay, also, just random thought that just hit me. I've also been told that the amount of water on Earth stays constant. It never changes because the Earth just basically recycles the water and then it will transfer to different places. Like, it evaporates into the air, into the atmosphere, eventually finds its way to other weather systems and then turns into rain somewhere else. But the amount of water never changes on Earth. Have you heard that before?
I think I have, yeah. I mean, and that makes sense to me.
That makes sense to me too. So my question is, they're saying it's a long, slow process known as degassing, and they're saying that it's like over long periods of time, the oceans continued to get bigger and bigger and more full. But where's this water coming from if there's no water like anywhere else on Earth? You know what I'm saying? Like, we got all this new water, but now we're just at a constant of water.
Well,
Constant
because of
level?
ice caps melting and...
Yeah, but even the ice caps would still count as, it's just frozen water. It's just...
Yeah,
it's
but
not-
they're in like a Pacific place because they're frozen. So that water is then going to like disperse.
I mean, that definitely makes sense. I guess I'd wonder if they're measuring the amount of water on Earth with the ice as well, like if they're including that in the measurement of water, because it technically is, it's just frozen water.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Another theory. Okay, see, so that's what I'm saying. Grok is telling me that it was fact, but I see multiple theories of this. This is saying another theory. Another theory that some researchers have is that carbonaceous chondrites, which is essentially a meteorite that holds a lot of water, kept pelting into the surface of the Earth after it cooled down. This distributed water in large amounts to the Earth, which eventually made up the oceans. Okay, so yeah, that is just a theory. All right. Let's just ask a more pointed question here.
Somebody asked, Project Rock asked, when ice melts in your drink, does it rise? That's a very good point. No, it doesn't.
What, we got freaking scientists in the chat? What's going on here? That's a great point. Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Well, and I feel like I don't know. I feel like it actually might go down because the ice is actually more spaced out. Like the crystalline frozen structure of water is more spaced out than when it's liquid. So it actually might lose volume. I don't know. We're going to have to ask in a second, but I want to see how can a comet hold enough water to create the ocean? Because like that, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, what did Ron say?
Team
Oh, here
of
we go.
Science offer
Oh,
right here.
Ron was the one that said that. Project Rook is Ron. You know
Oh,
the
it's
guy that I
Rook.
talk with on from Sean Atwood's channel? Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Hello, Ron.
Ron, this is my fiance Kim. I figured I'd bring her in. I'm trying to get better about doing stuff with Streamlabs, but dude, thanks for the recommendation on Streamlabs. It's sick. Comet's water holds clues to life on Earth. See, this is what I was talking about. I think that this is where they were testing it. Yeah, see, they've got all these chemicals right here, and they're saying that the comets and the chemicals on Earth are the same. But I don't think that that necessarily proves, like, I don't think that just because they share chemical components doesn't necessarily mean that the ocean is because of that. I wouldn't think.
Nice to meet you, Ron. B. Benwell 0693 said ice has big pockets of air, so it lowers.
See, that's what I thought. I was like, there's air in there, so like, yeah. I don't know. It's a very, very good point. I had never thought of that. International team of scientists led by Martin Cordner of NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center mapped the distribution of both ordinary water and heavy water. Wouldn't it make sense though that if they're just testing the comet to see like if it has the same chemical and I guess chemical biological components as the ocean, if they end up finding water in the comet, it would by definition, assuming that Earth is a space entity as well, it's basically just another type of rock floating through space. The water found on this planet would naturally match water found in a comet because they are of the same origin. It's just located in a different place. See what I'm saying? So like, I don't know if, I just don't feel like just because they tested it and they're the same doesn't necessarily mean that the ocean comes from that, you know? Like one doesn't necessarily have to follow the other.
Yeah. Somebody said, let's see, Stephen Humphrey, 1903, the bloodline of Mary Magdalene actually goes back to the mythology of the water dragon Tiamat, which I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, so I apologize if I'm not, which is the name of the comet that the water comes from.
Oh wait, what was the name of the comet?
Tiamat.
Oh yeah, there it is. Let me search for that.
The heat kicked off carbon emissions. The moon is a chunk of Earth and could very well be a ball of ice.
That could make sense because of, do you guys remember when they crash landed Apollo 12, I think it was, into the moon? They intentionally crashed their moon lander or whatever into the moon so that they could just do a test. They were trying to measure seismic activity when they did that. And when they did that, the moon rang like a bell for an hour, which I talked about that in my moon landing video, but I thought that that was pretty wild. And so that would mean that it's got to be mostly hollow. So that could like lend to the theory that the moon is made of ice, because it would be mostly, it wouldn't be entirely hollow, but it would have a lot of air with inside of it if it's a big piece of ice. So like, I don't know, take the moon for example. If a giant moon-sized object smashed into the Earth and the entire moon melted onto the Earth, do you think it would cover the surface area of the Earth?
I thought the moon was made of cheese.
Okay, so if the moon came to Earth and then the cheese melted and created a giant Earth fondue pot, do you think it would cover the Earth? Or do you think that
sounds delicious.
I'd be more for
No.
chocolate, but
Yeah, I feel like it definitely would. I mean, I don't freaking know.
all right, I may be belaboring this point. I didn't intend on spending this much time on the ocean formation, but like the more I think about it, the less it makes sense to me. But let's read about Tiamat.
Yeah, I loved Mary Magdalene origin story.
Oh, okay, it's not a comet. I misunderstood.
Hi, Jess Carroll 929.
A primordial
Thanks for
sea
hanging out with
goddess, known for her role in the Babylonian creation epic.
Sarita says the moon is hollow.
Okay, let's just go here. Actually, I don't like this. I don't think this is the same thing. Let me see if I can figure out. I mean, even the Big Bang Theory really doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I just don't know. The thing I was also thinking of today while I was going through all this stuff is like, do humans have an answer for everything? Like anything that you have a question for, there's usually an answer. Whether it's the answer or an answer, that's up for debate. But humans have an answer for everything. And is that just our natural propensity and curiosity for trying to figure out what the hell is going on here? Like, there's just this never-ending mystery of life. And so like I don't know, Christians believe God created the earth, and scientists believe the Big Bang created the earth, and there's like tons of different theories of the creation story. But then even with the ocean, there's tons of, this is the answer for why this happened. But it's like, nobody knows. Nobody was here when the ocean started. How do they know? They're just making scientific hypothetical inferences based on scientific knowledge that they have.
Yeah, or the interpretation of the records that have been kept over the years that we may or may not know about.
Dark comets could reveal how the Earth got its oceans. Okay, well here, let me look this up real quick, just as a quick reference. How big is a typical comet? I'm sure they vary pretty greatly in size, but I would imagine there's got to be like a rough size that they are. Okay, so it's roughly 6 miles wide. That's not even, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that big. They say that they found UFOs bigger than that. Whoa, what? When a comet approaches the sun, it forms a coma that can expand to over 96,000 kilometers in diameter and a tail that can stretch millions of miles. That's crazy, I didn't know that. So it kind of like melts it almost, just turns it into like a liquid, expanded, massive blob of comet. I don't know. Yeah, and we definitely don't know everything. That's 100% fact, but I just think it's interesting how humans like walk around acting like we do know everything. And especially now, with all of the stuff that I've been learning lately, it's got me really questioning everything I've been taught and learned throughout my entire life. I feel like I'm having to relearn things, and not just because I forgot because I'm old, but like just because there's things that I thought I knew that I'm like, wait, no, now I'm questioning that because there's some really good points as to why that's not the case, and there's some really sensical reasons as to why it's not the case, and it should be different. So I feel like that's another one of those things where like you may have learned in your textbooks that this is what happened because that's what science tells us, but they're just giving you a theory, pushing it as truth, and forcing us to believe it because we're going to school and take tests on it. So I don't know. So a typical comet is not that big, and so this would have had to the Earth would have had to be pelted hundreds of thousands of times to have enough comet water to be able to cover the Earth. That's my theory, and they say it was a lot, and it was over the course of like millions of years.
Grok says one of the leading theories is that Earth formed with water, or its precursors already incorporated into the rocky materials that coalesced to create the planet around 4.6 billion years ago. During the solar system's early days, the planet was made from a disk of gas and dust, including hydrogen-rich materials. Recent studies suggest, yeah.
Control Alt Dig said, how much do you trust Maxwell Publishing? Yeah, straight up. That I don't know if you saw my short about it, Control Alt Dig, but that shit was wild. That Earth shattered my whole entire world. I was like, no way. That's crazy. Also, not surprised. But to think that literally Epstein seems to be infiltrating or has infiltrated every facet of society, things that you would have never guessed. And even though Epstein's not a direct correlation with the whole textbook thing, like tangentially he's connected. But still, like, what the hell, man? That was crazy. You find out, well, in McGraw-Hill, not any better. I did a little mini dive onto the McGraw-Hill, and that company is not much better. Of course, just like all companies, it started as a super wholesome educator, teacher that wanted to just help create standardized books and push publishing to educate people. But then as soon as it becomes corporate, it becomes not the same. And it was family owned for a really long time until they went public. And then once they went public, McGraw-Hill guys started hanging out with all the same people that we talk about all the time. And like, it's kind of weird that they also have ties. I think the son of the original founders, or grandson, he attends Bilderberg meetings. He's like involved with pretty much any wealthy elite network. He's involved with it. So we can't necessarily trust McGraw-Hill, and they were partnered with Macmillan during the peak of my childhood learning era. So kind of wild.
Shout out to Interval, by the way, because that's where we first saw that headline and whatnot. So Interval is an app that is like independently owned. To get like full access to all the articles, you do have to pay, but it's by design so that we can avoid advertisements on there. So
this is it right here on the screen.
Interval.
Yeah, so check it out. It says unbiased, well, it doesn't say it here, but it said unbiased news, unbiased headlines, verified sources. So super good source, and if you guys are interested, definitely follow them. That you can follow them on socials and stuff too. But okay, let me just look into this dark comet thing, but then we can move on to what you wanted to, or like move forward, I guess, to where you wanted to go. But the solar system is teeming with small bodies such as comets and asteroids. They're the fundamental building blocks of planets in the early solar system, while the remaining leftovers are the comets and asteroids seen today. What's the difference between the comet and asteroid? Actually, I had that question earlier in my head. The only difference is that they have beautiful cometary tails. Okay. That's actually kind of what I thought, because when you think of a comet, you think of it streaking across the sky, but an asteroid, you just think of it smashing into the Earth and killing dinosaurs. So I don't know. When a comet gets close to the sun, these ices heat up and sublimate, which means they turn from ice into gas. The gas heats up because of the sunlight and then blown off of the comet's surface in a process called outgassing. I guess that does make sense then too, because if they do melt, then once they're melted, then it does eventually turns into like water vapor, and then is continuously recycled on the Earth. But I guess are comets all made of ice entirely? The water that makes up the Earth, the oceans, acted as a key ingredient for the development of life on Earth. However, scientists still do not know where the water here on Earth came from. That's a link, so let's see what that says. If you didn't know anything about what we were talking about, if I didn't tell you all the stuff about the comets, where would you have thought the water came from? Follow the water.
Personally, I think that it just was already here, and that maybe like more was brought with a comet, but like water was already here to begin with.
That makes sense. And actually that kind of sparked a thought in my head. What if the Earth is kind of like is just one of those massive comets? Because that's what I was saying before, is that comets are like the building blocks of the solar system and planets and stuff. So what if the Earth is just kind of like a massive comet that at some point got really close to the sun and formed a coma or whatever it was called, and it like super expanded, but then maybe as it continued, or like wasn't in like a perfect orbit around the sun, maybe it just at some point got caught in the Earth or in the sun's orbit, which is what heated it up, melted all the ice that was the comet Earth, and then as it like, because it was saying that as it gets close to the sun, it turns into a coma and like expands and gets really big. But maybe once it left the sun's gravitational pull a little bit, then it cooled back down again and kind of created this like outer cold shell, but it still harnesses that inner heat of the Earth where the core is. I don't know, like, and maybe that makes no sense at all, like scientifically or physically, but and then because it already then got trapped in the sun's orbit, it probably still had like a weird elongated thing until it finally got sucked into like a perfect sun orbit. But I don't know. That's
or what if the core, the Earth's core, is not hot? What if it's hollow and there's civilizations down there?
That's possible, 100% possible. I was actually kind of curious about that because I was like, does the Marianas Trench get down deep enough to hit like close to the Earth's core? And it was like, no, not even close. The Earth's core is 300 kilometers below us, and I think the Marianas Trench only goes down like 6 kilometers or something like that. But so it's not even close to as deep. But I guess the Russians at some point, I can't remember, it was like in the 50s or 60s, drilled down as far as they could drill pretty much. And they went 11 kilometers into the Earth, and they measured temperature as they went down, and they said that it did in fact get hotter. It was 212 degrees Celsius down at that level, which is hot as, like, you know, that's really hot. It's pretty freaking hot, dude. Cook an egg on that thing. The Black Sabbath comment earlier made me laugh. Okay, cool. Well, I don't know. So I guess knowing that we don't know, and we probably won't ever know where the water came from, just don't drink it. That's all we know. And that's like, why aren't they using salt water for... Oh, never mind. I kind of answered my own question. For cooling server farms and data farms for all this AI stuff that they're so worried about water, instead of moving into Arizona for all these tax write-offs where there is no water and they're trying to source water and just steal it from the towns they're in. Why don't they use salt water? But I guess the salt would be like probably really screw up the actual like irrigation cooling system.
Yeah.
Like really quickly erode it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so I don't know if you wanted to jump off somewhere, Kim, we can definitely do that. Otherwise, I've got something we can talk about as well, but feel free to take it away.
Well, I mean, just in...
Water came from Mars.
I mean, just as a quick glance at the Pacific Ocean, like, it is the home
Thanks,
of...
Great Illuminance. You're a real positive, uplifting individual. I appreciate that. Sorry, go ahead.
It's the home of the Bermuda Triangle. It's the home of the Mariana Trench. It's a third, I think it's like a third of the Earth entirely. Yeah, it takes up a third of the planet.
The Bermuda's in the Atlantic, babe.
I just read that it was
There's another
off
one.
of the Japan
That is different.
Dragon's Triangle.
Yeah, it's called the Dragon's Triangle or the Devil's
Akin
Sea.
to the Bermuda Triangle. Okay.
It's the
Yes.
Pacific version
I
of
apologize.
the Bermuda, yeah. But
Okay.
I just wanted to double check because I was like, I don't think that's right, but yeah, the
And
Devil's Sea is the same thing, just in the Pacific.
the Ring of Fire, which is a chain of volcanoes, like Earth's most active volcanoes, and like a ton of earthquakes take place there too. And we've like literally only explored less than 5% of it, which is mind-blowing to me. And then there's theories like that say that NASA originally was like exploring underwater, and that supposedly like they discovered something terrifying, and we're like, all right, we're gonna switch our focus to space.
Now I gotta look into that. That's interesting. This is not the first time that's been searched, of course. I don't think I've ever... Have you guys ever searched for something that's not been searched before? That wasn't just gibberish? The real reason... Oh, remember what I was talking about, you guys. We've got all kinds of fact-checking, debunking going on here, so it kind of makes me wonder what's going on. Like, literally, this is an entire, all of the top search results are all debunking this NASA exploring the ocean theory stuff. So we were on the right track of something, guys. Well, I guess we'll just go up here and see what it has to say. Why people believe NASA explored the oceans. People have said that their original mission was to explore the ocean, and then they switched to space. They believe that they discovered something mysterious or dangerous in the ocean depths and is covering it up. While it is true that NASA has conducted some ocean exploration, it has never been the agency's primary mission. Okay, what have they done? They've focused on using remotely operated vehicles to study the ocean floor, seamounts, and trenches for biodiversity and new species. However, the unexplored depths of the ocean remain a mystery, and much of the ecosystem remains unknown. Despite this, NASA has not stopped exploring the ocean and continues to conduct research in this field. National Aeronautics and Space Administration is looking into the ocean? That doesn't make any sense. They don't even need, I don't even think they use the same kind of equipment. Like, they're not using rovers that go down into space or into the ocean. They wouldn't, none of the shit that they make would work, so that doesn't really make any sense to me. Why? So there's no theories on, well, let's look at this. What did NASA find in the oceans? Let's see what this one says. That straight up looks like a green screen backdrop photo. It's crazy. Scary things lurk in the depths of the ocean. Honestly though, if people were like, if somebody was like, you could either get launched into space or you could get launched to the bottom of the ocean, I'd probably choose space. I don't know, the ocean freaks me out. Seriously freaks me out. On February of 2016, NASA announced they had discovered a massive deposit of hydrogen in the ocean floor off the coast of Peru. It's made using data from the Gravity Recovery and Climate Experiment satellite, which tracks changes in the Earth's gravity field. The deposit is thought to be the result of a natural process called serpentinization, in which water reacts with mantle rocks to form hydrogen. However, the exact process by which this happened is still unknown. Scientists are scrambling to understand the implications of this massive store of hydrogen. It's amazing that something from the Space Shuttle Challenger has been found on the ocean floor. It is a reminder of the tragedy that didn't actually happen to the poor victims of the Challenger. Watch my moon video. Exploded after launch in 1986. Okay, that's cool. So they found some Challenger pieces. The other thing that I kept finding is that they found trash, like Ziploc bags and garbage at the bottom of the Marianas Trench. All the way at the deepest, darkest part of the ocean, they found stuff.
I thought that they hadn't been able to like reach the bottom of Marianas Trench.
See, there are like articles that said that James Cameron's done it and a couple other deep sea explorers.
Really?
Yeah, let me look it up real quick.
Which, by the way, they say that they've like discovered some pretty crazy life forms, including this one's the one that stuck out to me the most. Purple orbs. Like, what the is that?
Wait. Say that again?
They say they've discovered like life forms in the Mariana Trench, like unique to the Mariana Trench, and the one that stuck out to me the most is called purple orbs. They're just called purple orbs.
Well, that makes you wonder about, because one of the things I was going to talk about was the USPs or USC? Yeah, unidentified submersible craft. So they're like aliens that they've seen submerge or go into the water and come out of the water. But anytime you see them, they're just these orbs of light. So that's kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
So like,
I want to look at what purple orbs are.
and yes, just real quick before we move on, yes, humans have reached the bottom of the Mariana Trench, pacifically the Challenger Deep, multiple times.
Really?
Yeah, the first successful descent was in 1960 by Don Walsh and Jacques Piccard, followed by James Cameron in 2012. It's crazy how much of a freaking deep sea explorer James Cameron really is. Like, he's the guy that made Titanic. So we've been down there, what, 4 times it says? It's pretty wild.
Yeah, I just feel like the more I look into it too, I feel like either there are civilizations that currently live under there, or like there were bigger life form, like human intelligence, an intelligent species similar to humans that lived here like before us. And I feel like that would explain some of like the pyramids. For instance, everybody's kind of perplexed as to how the architecture and like the building of them would be even possible. And I think it would make sense that if there were giants that lived here before us, that they made them.
Man, I saw this video. I should have saved it. It was this guy. No, it was Mr. Beast. Let me see if I can find it really quick.
And then there's a place called the Yonaguni Monument off of Japan's coast. And it's got like underwater rock formations that resemble steps, pyramids, and carvings. And debate rages over whether they are natural geological features or remnants of an ancient civilization. It's often referred to as Japan's Atlantis.
Japan's Atlantis?
Mm-hmm.
What's it called?
The Yonaguni, and I hope I'm not saying that wrong, but the Yonaguni Monument.
Yonaguni Monument?
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't find that Mr. Beast video. All right, let's watch this video real quick. Hang on, I gotta do, I'm assuming you guys didn't hear sound just now. Hopefully that's true, because after all the trouble I just went through trying to get the echo to stop.
That has baffled archaeologists for years. Where did it come from and who made it? This is Yonaguni Monument, Japan. Kimura believe it was created by an advanced prehistoric civilization. Continuous research on the monument overwhelmingly points to the fact that the structure is a man-made monolith, carved from a natural formation. Within the structure, many have identified a pyramid, castle, roads, a pool, and a stadium. The main feature of Yonaguni Monument is a rectangular formation made from sandstone, measuring 150 meters by 40 meters and reaching 27 meters in height. On top of this huge structure is a formation known as the Turtle. Close to the turtle are stairs which are carved into the sandstone. Cut into the monument are depictions of animals, strategically placed holes, and aesthetic triangles, all indicating that this was man-made. The exact date of these ruins is hard to determine, but a team of Japanese geologists believe them to be at least 6,000 years old, while others have theorized them to be much older. It's believed that the monument was constructed during the last ice age, 10,000 BC, when the sea level was far lower than it is today. Yonaguni was the southern end of a land bridge that connected Taiwan, Ryukyu and Japan, perhaps acting as an important trade route. Either rising sea levels or earthquakes eventually sank the monuments, sinking it to the seabed to be lost for thousands of years. The Yonaguni Monument is surrounded in mystery, but we would love to hear your thoughts. Do you think it was natural or man-made? What did you think it used to be? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe and smash that bell icon. Save the
Sorry, I definitely clicked the unmute button, but it didn't actually unmute it. Sorry. So the Yonaguni Monument, well, let's look into it because I want to learn more about this. So what's the theory behind the Yonaguni Monument then, Kim? Like what's the importance of that?
They think it's evidence of a civilization that existed before us.
Let's look at some pictures. Whoa. That's pretty cool. Wow, this is pretty wild. I wonder how big it is. I think this is the same thing that I was finding on my research too, was that because there's all these like giant steps that are underwater. Clearly man-made, like that's clearly created by some entity. I don't want to say by humans, but could be created by anything, maybe giants. But that's what that video I was talking about with Mr. Beast was. He was in the middle of like some interview or like event, and he was on stage, and just out of nowhere, and I don't like Mr. Beast to begin with, but this was interesting. He just was like, yo, those two guys over there, I can't stop looking at them. They're freaking massive. Would you guys come up here on stage real quick? And it's just these two massive black dudes, like huge, like 7 feet tall, like not even in the 6 foot range. I think they were like 7 foot, like 8 or 7'9" is what the dude was saying. And he's like, on the giant scale, these guys would be on the small end of the giant scale, but he was saying that those two guys were almost like proof that there were giants at some point.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to them just being anomalies. Also kind of wild that the two of them were just hanging out, like two of the most massive dudes ever. I don't know if they were brothers or what, but they definitely were massive. And like, you could just see like how much, they were like a whole person taller than the Mr. Beast and the guy that was interviewing him. So that was like kind of what what the guy was saying, is that there's giants that existed
Yeah, interesting.
But over time, things have gotten smaller, which if you think about it, is true because I think even like early humans were allegedly bigger. Like we had way bigger heads, way bigger bodies and everything. We just shrunk over time because it became more compact, like more, I don't know, just evolution, I guess, but.
Yeah, and I haven't done any fact checking, but I'm pretty sure they've found, like, they've dug up, like, skeletons of what looks like to be a human, like a giant human.
I need a moderator. Why is somebody going crazy? Oh. Caleb. Let's see. Okay, holy shit, is this real? How long is this video? There's no way that's real. I gotta click on this now. 21 minutes. No, I don't think so. Whoa, what? This is pretty wild right here. Holy smokes, dude. Huge skeleton of giant human at archaeological site. Scientists dig and clean fossil bones. Theme of archaeology. So this is just a photo, but look at how massive that skeleton is, dude.
Yeah.
That's huge. And perfectly preserved. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's real. Those dudes are working on it, right? See, dude, we live in the era where you can't trust your eyes anymore, you guys, because everything is insane. I want to know about this giant one. That one's crazy. Giant human skull in China. This looks fake.
Wait, so is that real?
What?
Like that is a real skeleton?
The one that I just showed?
Yeah.
The giant one? Well, that's what I'm looking at right now. This picture right here, I don't know if you can see that, of this giant skull. That's real. Scientists on Friday announced that a massive fossilized skull that is at least 1,400 years old is a new species of ancient human, a giant, nearly intact human skull from Harbin, China, dated back 146,000 years. It's not even that much longer. That's not even that long ago. Could represent a new lineage of archaic humans closer to modern humans than Neanderthals. Almost 90 years ago, Japanese soldiers occupying North China forced a Chinese man to help build a bridge across the blank. Scientists have found a huge skull that could be a new species of human, nicknamed Dragon Man, in Harbin, China. Let's see what dragon... Okay, here's that picture I found earlier. Giant skeleton Calamita pic on Design You Trust skeleton pics. Human giant skulls. Oh no, this, I don't know if this one's real. The one with the giant skeleton. I'm not really sure about it. But let's look up, what was it? Dragon, where did I just see it? Dragon something. Giant fossilized, blah, blah, blah. Named Homo longi. Homo longi. Also known as Dragon Man, is an extinct species of archaic human identified from a nearly complete skull found in China. So this isn't what if. This isn't like there maybe was giants. This is legit. This is a real thing. That's pretty crazy. Homo longi skull fossil. See if there's other ones. They only found the one?
That's pretty wild, babe. I've heard of the giants thing before, but I didn't know that there was actual proof that there was giants. I didn't know there was fossils.
Yeah, and there's like a bunch of people that are like, who's to say that dinosaur bones are actually for dinosaurs? Like, what if they, I don't know,
It's
like,
just a giant dog.
who knows? Like, what, who's to say it wasn't like a different, I don't know. How do they know they were dinosaurs?
I don't know. It's a good question. Make sure my mic's, I don't know. Somebody said no sound, but. Denisovin. Okay, so we have. Well, then that would make total sense how they built the pyramids. There's no question. Like,
Right? I feel like, I was like, oh, that actually makes a lot of sense.
okay, well, this will come back to the Pacific Ocean in a minute. I definitely realize we've gotten a little strayed from that idea, but it does
It's
still tie together.
Yeah, it's still.
Actually, I don't want to see if they built the pyramids. I want to see if there's proof that they did it. Giants are genius. I just find it, I think it's interesting that, because it would mean that there was regular sized people and giants living at the same time. What made it so giants were not able to carry on? Like, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, and all folklore, like, talks about giants. There's always stories of giants.
Well, and think about, that was one of the other pieces of that video with Mr. Beast, was he was saying, like, the David and Goliath story. Goliath might have just been one of those smaller versions of one of the giants, but he was yet again on the small end of the giant. And so, but yeah, you're right, like all cultures seem to have giants, a giant theme, which definitely makes sense. So they think that giants are what built that? What was it called?
The
The lost city of Atlantis in the Pacific? What was it called? I can't remember.
Yonaguni Monument?
Yeah. So that's what they think, was that those guys built that? Like giants built that?
Mm-hmm. And then there was I don't know why it's called the bloop, but
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
in 1997, hydrophones recorded the bloop, an ultra-low frequency sound from the southern Pacific, louder than any known animal noise. It was later attributed to an ice quake from a cracking iceberg. Sure. Similar eerie sounds like Julia in 1999, possibly an iceberg scraping the seafloor. Fuel ongoing speculation.
Yeah, have you guys ever heard of the bloop? It was a massive sound. So they put, I guess sonars. I don't know. They put some sort of microphones in the ocean that can pick up sound. So they're constantly monitoring things, animals, tectonic movement, seismic activity in the ocean, just all kinds of weird stuff. But they obviously only have sensors and sonars in certain places to be able to pick up sound. And I didn't realize this, but sound travels really, really well through water. So it can travel really long distances and still be heard. I had no idea because we can't hear anything underwater. But Bob said that there's petroglyphs of giants at Gizak, the Great Pyramid, in Giza. That actually makes sense. And if there's like glyphs of it, I would imagine that they were putting them on there for a reason. Like, So I don't know, that's super interesting. But this bloop sound was just something that they picked up. When did you say it was? Wasn't it like 1997? And it was, where was it that they recorded this? Southeast coast of South America, and was audible 5,000 kilometers away. So like the closest, and there's actually two different sound things that picked up this bloop sound, but the bloop was like the actual sound was 5,000 kilometers away from one of the sensors, or like the things that was reading it, and it was like 3,000 or 4,000 kilometers from the other one.
But I have the sound. You guys should listen to it. And the crazy part is, look at this video is 3.5 minutes long, and this is the whole thing is the sound. We don't have to listen to the whole thing, but just a sec. Let me mute this one. Okay. So that was a wild sound, that's for sure. And the fact that it was 3.5 minutes long is insane. But what they say is that it definitely whale farts. I love how many people picked up on the farts thing. But the bloop is said to have been caused by, what do they say it was? Kim, do you remember? It was like plates slipping against each other, or like icebergs, or I don't know, let's just look into it.
Allegedly, an ice quake, cracking icebergs.
However, further, well, so they originally thought that it was some sort of giant squid or large sea creature, which the giant squids are crazy. Have you seen those?
Mm-mm.
Shit's scary.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm just curious where they come up with these names, like the Bloop and the Julia.
The Julia?
Yeah.
What's
That
the
one
Julia?
was recorded in 1999, and they say possibly an iceberg scraping the seafloor.
Wait, I didn't know there was another one. I thought the Bloop was the only one that they had recorded that was like that. Let's see if it sounds the same. Did you listen to it?
Mm-mm.
The unexplained sound from the depth of the ocean. I don't know, let me try and leave the microphone up and see if it...
Hi, nice to see you again.
I could almost
This
sleep to
sound is
that.
another mysterious sound that comes from under the sea. similar to the sound recorded by NOAA in 1997, which is currently called the blue.
I don't know if it's actually playing or not.
Julia Sound. Julia Sound was a previously unknown sound, recorded on March 1, 1999 by NOAA, on the Eastern Equatorial Pacific Autonomous Hydrophone Array. The location of the Julia Sound is not far from the location of the Bloop Sound. This is the sound. This is Julia's. However, the two sounds are not the same. Julia's sound is higher
Two sounds are not the same.
pitched and recorded for a longer period of time than the Bloop sound.
They're in
This
the
is
same
Julia's
area.
sound. Let's listen together. This sound source is also thought to originate from the process of cracking underwater icebergs in Antarctica. But many people also speculate that this comes from sea creatures. If this comes from a sea creature, then it can be estimated that this is a very large creature. Maybe its size can exceed the size of the blue. What sound do you think it is? Please write.
Yeah, I was thinking the Megalodon thing too. So they definitely don't sound the same at all. They sound similar. I think it's crazy they were heard in this, like in a similar area. But what iceberg do they think was causing it? Where was the source of the bloop sound? Caused by an ice quake. Cracking and breaking of an iceberg. Which iceberg, though? Oops. The next thing I wanted to go to, though, came kind of along the Giants piece, as well as the bloop sound. We've got the underwater Atlantis we've talked about. I guess I'll bring up Mu because you didn't know about it, but I feel like it perfectly ties in with Tartaria, because without Mu there is no Tartaria. So like, I feel like that would be a good next step. And that's where, like, anytime I hear of giants, it's always in the reference to Tartaria. At least, usually it is.
Yeah, and how are more people not talking about Devil's Sea or Dragon's Triangle?
Oh, yeah, we should definitely look into that too, because there has been a lot of shit that's disappeared in the Devil's Sea.
Yeah.
Kind of scary stuff too.
Linked to the disappearances of ships and planes, theories include magnetic anomalies or underwater volcanoes, but many incidents are explained by storms or human error. Like, okay. There's missing plastic.
I want to see, sorry, I'm looking at something a little different. The iceberg that was said to have been, that caused the noise, was allegedly, because it was off the southern tip of South America, is what it said, right? And they said that it was an Antarctic glacier that caused the ice quake. So I just wanted to see how close the southern tip of South America was to Antarctica. It is fairly close, especially knowing that sound can travel fairly far. So I mean, it's not outside the realm. It definitely could make sense. But that was a really long, I don't, how long do earthquakes usually how long does an earthquake last, or an ice quake? But yeah, then we should go back to the Devil's Sea, the Devil's Triangle or whatever. Typical earthquake from a few seconds to several minutes. Okay, so that's not uncommon. Ice quakes
usually have similar short durations, often just a few seconds. So they're usually faster in ice quake. So I don't know, with it being like 3+ minutes long, that's a pretty long quake. But let's look at Devil's victims of the Devil's Sea. Actually, let's just ask Grok on this one. Tell me about all the victims of the Devil's Sea. Antarctica is a fascinating topic, Sam. It's so wild that it's off limits. It's just a wild place in general. The amount of comets and asteroids they find down there is crazy. And we were looking into it, one of the live streams, like people have tracked the distance around Antarctica, and it seems like it's bigger than what they say it is on the globe or on the map. Very interesting for sure. So this is what it says about the Devil's Sea. It says Dragon's Triangle, Mano Umi in Japanese, or specific Bermuda Triangle, loosely defined as a region in the Pacific south of Tokyo. Didn't give me a picture. Let's find a picture so we know what we're talking about real quick. Devil's Triangle is right here. No, that's the Bermuda Triangle. The Devil's Triangle is just off the coast of Japan. Kind of extends almost to the Philippines, to Guam, that area right in there. Which you wouldn't think would be that crazy. It's kind of between all these different bodies of land. You wouldn't really expect there to be anything crazy going on. What about the Bermuda Triangle? Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same thing. Like, it's a very similar, it's kind of landlocked almost, except for this one little Bermuda island out here, but.
Yeah, and how does it just like eat stuff up? Like, things just are gone. It's just.
So let's see, Grok, I told Grok, give me all of the victims of the Devil's Triangle. The juiciest, most cited hidden cases pushed by fringe authors like Charles Berlitz, who popularized it in the 1970s, 80s, alongside Bermuda Triangle lore include ancient legendary losses, 13th century Mongol invasions, 2 attempts saw thousands of ships and about 40,000 plus soldiers sunk by sudden kamikaze typhoons. What? That's pretty crazy. Fringe theories tie this to dragons, volcanic eruptions, or sea monsters protecting Japan. Substantiated as real historical events, but weather, not supernatural. So they're saying that weather during these 2 different attempts, 7 years apart from each other, had the same consequences of these kamikaze typhoons. That's pretty wild.
I sent you a TikTok video of a guy that talks about giants and the flood.
Oh, yeah, we should watch that real quick.
Yeah.
Is it the one you just sent me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, I think this was the same guy that was talking about the giants with the Mr. Beast thing. Because I don't really know this dude, but he looks familiar.
Rid of the giants.
Right.
So we're talking titans, dude. Like, I'm not talking that tree. Like, that would have been like a peon, like a micro giant. Were they so I'm not talking about the Afghan giant either. That he had to flood the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. Giants go to be able to submerge them to try to escape it. Anything less, probably like, why did he pick that specific amount of time? That was obviously enough to do the job. Where the job was to get rid of the giants. So we're talking titans, dude. A giant mountain. What does pink salt look like? Have you ever looked in a pink salt mine before? Type in pink salt mine, look on the inside of it. It looks eerily similar to that of human muscle fibers. Like, it looks like cured ham. It looks like prosciutto, or should I say prosciutto.
Peru.
Things petrified. We know that. Many things petrified. Did ancient titans petrify into pink salt? There'd be a ton of minerals. And if there was ancient giant trees back then too, which we know there was. Sorry, I'm not buying the magma story. I'm not buying the story that Devil's Tower and the other basalt column in Antarctica and the other one, the Giant's Causeway in Ireland. Or Scotland. I'm not buying that's magma. I'm sorry, you're not convincing me that magma forms hexagons. When magma cools, it's just splattered, it's just squishy, it's just freaking all discombobulated all over the place. It doesn't form the plant cell structure of a freaking hexagon. It doesn't do that. So I'm not buying that story. So, these trees, lots of oxygen in the atmosphere. This is confirmed. This is the funny part. This actually corroborates the official story. Okay, hold on a second. Things were bigger because the atmosphere was bigger. You know why the atmosphere was bigger? Because there was giant trees pumping out a bajillion pounds of freaking oxygen into the air. Just one inhale from that, and you'd be like, there'd be a ton of minerals. You'd be like high. And from the oxygen content in the air, you'd live longer, like if maybe 900 years, like Noah did. Things are adding up, dude. Are you seeing that the truth is being revealed? So, giant trees, more oxygen, giants growing big. More oxygen. They probably had 1 billion pounds of minerals in them because they're so freaking huge. That petrified into pink salt. And pink salt is good, I will say, but you got to be careful because pink salt, when they mine it with TNT, dynamite, there's like heavy metals. There can be toxics into the pink salt if it's powdered pink salt. If you buy a pink salt block, like, you're good. There's no heavy metals in there unless it is pink salt. When they mine it, sometimes they tap into a different I guess a different part of the giant where there's like a bunch of heavy metals. Perhaps his bones had more crazy stuff in it because they run into a vein in the pink salt mine. Maybe it's the ground underneath the petrified giant that has heavy metals in it. So you do have to watch out for that. But
do you know, like, what was he saying?
And then someone said yesterday,
what he was saying, Kim, because I was trying to focus
on
the echo.
I said the question, people ask, where did the giant trees go once they cut them down? Like the top of Devil's Tower, where the hell did that tree go? Well, if they cut the trees down and then flood the earth,
I want to know why
that tree's long gone. The tree stump, the freaking whole tree would have been washed away in the flood. So that's why you don't see a giant tree beside Devil's Tower where they cut it down. That's
because it's playing over here.
Well, if they cut the trees down and then flood the earth. Okay, hold on a second.
What the fuck? How did it open up over there? That's weird. Oh, I know, because I clicked on the video that you sent me in my message and it opened it up in that tab. Okay. I was so confused. I was like, what is even echoing? It's hard having two screens, you guys. We need one more computer is what we need. Yo, what up, Lee? Lee's in the chat.
Hi, Lee.
Okay, cool. Okay, so no on the, you don't know what he was saying about the Giants?
I guess it was just kind of like what we were already talking about, but like he kind of goes into like Devil's Tower a little bit, and he thinks that Devil's Tower was a tree. I'm pretty sure.
I've never even heard of Devil's Tower. No, actually, yeah, I have heard that it was actually chopped down. And it's a stump.
Petrified wood.
It kind of does look like a tree, and didn't he say that there was rings at the top? Oh yeah, here we go. I guess you can't really tell from this picture, but...
Hi, Melissa.
I want to see... I don't see any rings on it. But it seriously does look like a tree more than it looks like a rock. Well, and we know that petrified wood can look like rocks because that's what they gave... I can't remember who they gave it to in like the Netherlands, but they gave him a moon rock that they said was a legit moon rock from the Apollo 11 mission, but it turned out to be petrified wood. So like, it looked enough like a moon rock that it was convincing, but then it was just wood. So I don't know, that's actually pretty interesting. I didn't even know about that. I wonder if there's other Is there more monuments like Devil's Tower? Yeah, and like they would have had to be huge to chop those down, but also why did they, do you remember why he said they were chopping them down? I can't remember that. Like why he, like what was the, it was part of like some sort of control piece is what I thought he was saying. There's several other notable rock formations similar to Devil's Tower, such as the Giant's Causeway in Northern Ireland and the Devil's Post Pile in California. All right, let's check it out. Is a sledgehammer found in wood? I wouldn't say it's the same, but very similar, like rock structure. I don't like these bottom-up views. Kind of similar, yeah. It's pretty wild. It looks like it's splintering too, like wood does.
Yeah, and he also theorizes that like if there was a flood happening and the giants were trying to escape it, that they would go to like the tops of mountains and whatnot to escape, and that, I don't know, he's kind of alluding to that, like that's where like Himalayan like pink salt comes from, is like the decay or like the breakdown of those giants, like the minerals that were inside of them. Because if you, I guess he said, I don't know, he says to look up sea salt caves and decide for yourself what you think it looks like.
Sea salt caves?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I want to look up that other devil's thing that's supposed to be like it. Sea salt caves. And it's supposed to look like what?
Pink salt? I don't know if it's supposed to be pink. Pink salt.
There's Himalayan pink salt. This is pretty creepy. Crystalline salts. Himalayan salt information. That's a pink salt mine. Here's a Dead Sea salt cave. I guess I don't understand the significance of the salt caves.
I think he says that they look like flesh, or...
They look like roots. Guess I didn't even think about the fact that there's salt caves out there. Whoa, check this salt cave out. Freaking do some healing and some meditation in there.
Okay. Like this is Himalayan.
Okay. He was saying to look up pictures of Himalayan pink salt?
Well, I mean, it looks like meat.
I guess I'm just not understanding the significance of it. Like, what's the point of the pink salt?
It's the remains of the giants. The salt came from their bodies, and that's what was left behind. That's what he's like saying.
Okay. I guess I don't even know why. It just that doesn't seem to have any sort of sensical, logical reason behind it. Like, Giant's Causeway. I'm gonna look that up real quick. I wanted to see this other. I mean, I guess if it was, I don't know. So he's saying that that's like remnants of their body?
Yeah. He says it looks like muscle fibers.
So it's not really, we just call it salt, but it's actually something, it's something for giants, parts of giants.
He thinks it's petrified giant remains.
Petrified giant poop. Giant's Causeway in Ireland. Yeah, it's definitely similar, but it doesn't have the same tree, like, I don't know. The giant Devil's Tower thing that's the only one that looks like it could be a tree. And it could just be, and I hate to say this, but it could just be a coincidence that it looks like a tree. It just happens to be some sort of rock formation. Because these ones don't. These ones look, unless this is a massive tree, it looks like a mountain, actually. This is pretty wild, though. Look at this. This Giant's Causeway is like all these little pillars.
Okay, and then what about the basalt? Oh, is that what you're looking at right now? Basalt column?
No, but the basalt columns are like pretty wild. They pop up all over. That's what these look like. These look like basalt columns.
Yeah.
And then there's that, what is that place called that they found all those basalt columns that they actually think was the oldest like pyramid style structure that they found? I don't even remember where they found it. Basalt columns. No, not this one. Yeah, this one. The Gunung Padang, the world's oldest pyramid. I saw this on, I don't even know, some Netflix show. This guy does all this cool archaeological discovery research. It's located in Indonesia. It's considered to be the world's oldest pyramid. The ancient structure has been shrouded in mystery for centuries, and archaeologists are still trying to figure out its true purpose. I want to see, they had like a...
This place is even called Giant's Causeway.
That's what I just was looking at,
Oh,
the
okay.
basalt columns.
Well, yeah, that's just another example of those columns. But they're like found in multiple places, and it's said that it's caused by the cooling of volcanic eruption. But how does it form in those perfect geometric shapes?
Yeah, I don't know, that is pretty wild. Maybe it's from Minecraft.
Yeah.
Wait, why did it do this? I don't want to go to Duck AI to do this right now. I want to see pictures. Because they did like a recreation. Yeah, it just happens to be like totally underground now, or like covered by stuff. Like it's almost like it got lost to time, you know? But it has those same basalt looking structures. But the thing that they're saying that's important about these structures here where they're at in Indonesia is that this, I think whatever these are made of, I think they're basalt. Then they're not native to that area, so they had to be brought in from somewhere else. Kind of like the pyramids. I think the pyramids are built with something that's not native to that area. So they had to haul that stuff in.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the recreation I was trying to look at. This is what they think it could have looked like. Which is pretty crazy. It looks massive too. It's like a whole mountain that is a pyramid. So that's pretty wild for sure. Here's what I wanted to look at though, Kim. Mu, the lost continent. Have you guys ever heard of Mu? So we're here in the Oceano Pacifico, and between all of the continents, right here smack dab in the middle, they believed was a giant continent called Mu. And the way that I was trying to understand, I was like, what is the significance of Mu and when it comes to Tartaria? And the significance is that they say Mu was like the soul energy, because they say that Mu, where it was and what it did, the continent itself, like just the location and just the way that the continent operated scientifically, created free energy. for the Earth. And
What?
they're saying that there's some sort of like natural process of Mu, the continent, that caused, like that created free energy. And they have all kinds of things that they say points to the fact that Mu did exist. One of them was those steps that you found earlier, that those guys were like scuba diving around the steps underwater. And so they say that that could have been part of Mu. And then also like Hawaii is in that same area. And I don't know, there's just a bunch of like random little islands kind of scattered through there. But they were saying that Mu was kind of like the energetic center of Tartaria. And that when Mu, and I was asking Grok, like how, like I don't understand the science of how a continent could just disappear. But essentially it's just some sort of like tectonic plate slip that causes this crazy reaction of the Earth within the center of the continent to kind of crumble. And it almost crumbled from the center and then just kind of disappeared because of that. So like crumbled into the Earth's core and
So
then mostly
basically-
just disappeared.
So what you're saying is the ocean can eat us up whenever it feels like it.
That's basically, that's what I was thinking. I was like, if it could eat up Mu, like it's just as big as North America, then what's stopping North America from just getting swallowed whole? But I guess the theory is that because of this, whatever this thing, I can't remember exactly how it operated, but we'll look it up a little bit more so I know what I'm talking about. But because of the like ability that it had to create free energy, there was some sort of like really intense energy creation thing, and that's what actually caused Mu to crumble as well.
Go figure. Anything free gonna get taken away.
Hey, thanks Lee. Thanks for stopping in, dude. Yeah, the free energy thing, which is kind of why, if you think about it, I saw this video once talking about how many people have tried and attempted or said that they discovered free energy or the ability to create free energy. And almost I think actually every single one of those people is dead from weird circumstances. One of them being Nikola Tesla. But free energy seems to be one of those subjects that if you even touch it with a 10-foot pole, you end up dead. And number one, that obviously threatens our current paradigm of like using fossil fuels and making money on energy. I mean, think about energy is the number one consumer product of the world right now. So if we had it for free, like that literally destroys a lot of financial, like it destroys people's like ability to bring in money from energy, non-renewable energy sources. And so there is definitely like a piece of that free energy or a piece of the free energy theory with Mu that has me really like curious, because it'd be even more of a reason to keep it secret and hidden and lost to history, you know?
Yeah.
Geologists state that the existence of Mu has no factual basis and is physically impossible for a continent to sink or be destroyed. But see, it wasn't and you've done more looking into Tartaria than I have, but didn't Tartaria, it was like the whole world was it was like one giant piece of land?
Yeah, there's a lot of different theories. There's nothing consistent or cohesive that I've found. But let's see here.
Yeah, rotary matrix, and it went to President Trump's uncle. What was his name? Don Trump or something like that, which is super weird. And yeah, I don't know. I love Nikola Tesla. He powered the city where we live, Colorado Springs, for the first time with electricity. So that's kind of cool. And he used to live in Victor, where he performed all of his crazy experiments with his Tesla coil. All those pictures of him with his giant Tesla coil where he's like sitting in the room with the electricity and everything. That was all in Victor, Colorado, which I thought was really cool. So I don't know. I've always had a special piece in my heart for Nikola Tesla, and his story is wild. And the fact that he died penniless and never got the recognition he deserved for how truly genius that guy was breaks your heart.
James Churchwood claimed that Mu was destroyed by a series of earthquakes and volcanic eruptions, causing it to sink into the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, like, do you know, Nick, why Elon Musk named his vehicle company Tesla?
Because it uses Tesla's technology. It's like Tesla's theory, or Tesla's research that he did on like induction motors or something like that. I don't even know, where you use battery power to create the energy, but that's why he named it Tesla, because it uses the technology, and it was kind of like paying homage to Tesla in that way, which is kind of, I mean, it makes sense. It's cool that they did that for him, but he's already dead and gone, so he has no idea. I want to see if they have an explanation. Theories and controversies. Others believe that Mu was simply part of a larger landmass that was destroyed by natural disasters. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, there are some intriguing clues that suggest, oh yeah, that's what it was. There is clues of Mu existing because of different tests that they've done on the soil at the bottom of the ocean where Mu would have been. They found that the bottom of the, like that part of the ocean was actually not as old as the rest of the ocean, and had a different chemical or different composition, like the sediment that was at the bottom. It was all like way newer than the rest of the floor, and it would have been in the same area where Mu was. So they're saying that it's possible that it was like parts of Mu that are now covering the ocean floor in that area, and that's what they're actually scooping up and testing. So that was a part of the proofs that it did exist.
Interesting.
What did it say? The underwater structures and ruins in various parts of the Pacific, which some researchers believe could be remnants of the lost continent, which was that thing that you were talking about earlier. Those are some of the structures they talk about. The Pacific stone maps provide evidence of the existence of an advanced civilization that existed in the Pacific before it submerged. Pacific stone maps. And then we should look into Tartaria, because I'm curious if it was like just a giant body of land or what.
Yeah, and I definitely want to talk about Point Nemo at some point.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was on your list. Well, do you want to bring up Point Nemo real quick?
Sure. So I don't know. I feel like I haven't had a bigger fear than when I found out about Point Nemo. It seems pretty crazy. I did not even know it existed.
I'd never heard of it either.
But it's the oceanic pole of inaccessibility, which...
Okay, you're going to have to explain that a little bit more.
It's the most remote spot on Earth. It's about 1,600 miles from the nearest landmass.
It's the furthest point. It's like the most remote point on the Earth. Like, you're the furthest away from any land on Earth if you're at Point Nemo. In fact, they say that you're actually closer to the International Space Station when you're at Point Nemo when it flies overhead, because it's 400 kilometers overhead. But I think, like you said, it's 1,600 from any actual land, any land mass.
Yeah. Its isolation makes it a biological desert with minimal nutrients and sea life, but this very remoteness has spawned a host of bizarre conspiracy theories blending unexplained phenomena and extraterrestrial speculation. So there's the awakening of Cthulhu and the sunken city of R'lyeh, or R'lyeh? I don't know.
Of R'lyeh?
Yeah, it's a sunken city, apparently. The home of Cthulhu. a colossal entity that was part octopus, part dragon, and part human.
What? So here's Point Nemo, you guys. It's massively separated from the rest of the world. Wow. Yeah, it is pretty far from everything. Be a scary spot to be. And it's like a little island.
What, Point Nemo?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's just literally a spot in the ocean that there's no tide, there's no oceanic life, there's nothing there, and it just can like suck things in and they're gone.
So weird.
Yeah.
I wonder what the currents look like out there, like if it all like
Or
circles
not
into
tide,
one
did I
point.
say tide? Current, there's no current. That's what I mean. There's no like wave, it's just still.
It's just like a still static.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one thing I know about it, when I was looking into it, was that the Russian International Space Station, they intentionally, when they were done with it, crashed it into Point Nemo. So at the bottom of the ocean is the Russian, or at Point Nemo is the Russian space station.
What?
Yeah, watch. There's pictures of it down there, I remember. Yeah, here we go. Here's a picture of some of the remnants of the space station down at Point Nemo. Sorry, I know you can't see it. I keep trying to like re-share the screen, but it
I don't
won't do it.
understand how that's at Point Nemo. Like when they say nothing is there.
Like I said, they intentionally crashed it into the Point Nemo spot. Like when they were done with it, they intentionally had it fly into Point Nemo to sink it. You know,
So-
just to get rid of it, I guess. I don't really know why.
Yeah, so it's there. Like
Yeah, this is a picture. It says 15 amazing facts about Point Nemo.
so it didn't make it disappear.
Well, let's go to the facts. I want to see what other facts we can find about this. It's basically just a black hole in the middle of the ocean, which then actually brings me to the point that I wanted to talk about. The black hole that's on Google Earth. Point Nemo is the most remote place on Earth. Point Nemo, oceanic pole of inaccessibility, a desert in the ocean. No human inhabitants, is a spacecraft cemetery. Yep, see, look. Due to the large number of decommissioned satellites and other spacecraft that have been intentionally crashed into the ocean in this area, the remoteness of Point Nemo makes it an ideal location for controlled re-entry of spacecraft, as the risk of debris harming humans or damaging property is extremely low. Since the 1970s. But doesn't that make you wonder, okay, sure, that's their official explanation of, it's just a really good place to avoid, like there's hundreds of thousands of miles for that spacecraft to crash and not kill humans or hit humans. They could crash it into Antarctica.
Mm-hmm.
But yet they're going to choose this random spot in the ocean to send spacecraft.
Yeah.
There's something weird about that already.
Yeah, I feel like it's a portal.
That's honestly really possible. Maybe they're trying to see if stuff goes in and comes out somewhere else. I don't know. Follow the white rabbit, 100%. More than 250 spacecraft have been laid to rest in the watery depths around Point Nemo.
Oh, and is it true that the bloop was recorded at Point Nemo?
No, I don't think so, because it's,
Because I feel like that adds a layer
I don't think
of
it's
weirdness.
yeah, I think it's close to it, though. It is definitely close to it, because it was recorded off the tip of South America, and it's just to the east of, or to the west of South America, so it's, I mean, it's at least in the same area. You know what they say is that
the Antarctica ice quake is what caused it. I wonder if I wonder where that other station is, like where the other point that they recorded the sound was, because one of them was off the coast of South America, but there was a second one that was on the other side, like in the opposite direction, that also recorded it. Oh wait, no, here we go. Yeah, you're right, actually. It says the underwater soundscape around Point Nemo is remarkably quiet. The lack of human activity, the sparse marine life, and the distance from shipping routes all contribute to an unusually silent environment. Makes it an ideal location for studying the natural sounds of the ocean, unobstructed by human noise pollution. Yet again, I'm going to come back to, okay, that's a great explanation that will be like, okay, cool, I'm satisfied with that. But it's also interesting that that's an ideal location for them to study the natural sounds of the ocean. Maybe they're listening for something other than the natural sounds of the ocean.
Yeah, this says one of the theories is that there's a secret human or government underground facility. A variant dismisses aliens in favor of secret human bases, perhaps military or elite bunkers, hidden in the remote depths. High research costs and inaccessibility make it ideal for covert operations with studies as a cover story. Some speculate it's an advanced ancient human civilization monitoring Earth, blending with myths of guardians, activating submerged portals.
It says that, oh, you know what's crazy? You guys want to know what's crazy? Somebody, who was it that asked this? Ilon, I think. Yeah, Ilon says, wow, isn't this the same place where supposedly MH370 disappeared? Maybe it's at Point Nemo. So I was looking into it because I was like, maybe it is, but it's not. It was right here, and guess where? In the Devil's Triangle that MH370 disappeared.
Interesting.
And if you look at the Devil's Triangle, the location where MH370 disappeared, literally it's like right at one of the spots where like it kind of starts. I'm pretty sure that's where it is, right? Yeah, because it was Taiwan. Maybe it was a little further over to the right that the triangle is. Let's just do this. MH370 Devil's Triangle. If it's not, even if it's not like right in there, it was literally right next to it.
Oh, and then what did I read? I thought this was interesting. Nemo means, what does it mean? Lost, hold on, let me look it up. Nemo is Latin for nobody or no one. So it made me like trip out a little bit because I was like, Finding Nemo?
Finding
They're
Nemo.
actually not finding anyone? I don't know.
That is weird. That's kind of weird. Yeah, no, I'm almost positive it was in the Devil's Triangle. Let me pull up a picture of the Devil's Triangle at the same time here so we can look at it. Ellie says ice takes more space. Like if something freezes a plastic bottle, it will explode. Oh yeah, that's true, because it expands. Yeah. Good call, Ellie. And thanks for chiming in even though you're late. Better late than never, they say, right? Okay, Devil's Triangle. I love how that keeps popping up. Okay, so I lied. So it is a little different. It's very close to, but not the same. So it's where MH370 disappeared would have been like right over here, and the Devil's Triangle is like right here. So very, very close though. And technically we don't know where MH370 disappeared or like where it went. So who really knows? The best theory about MH370 that I've seen videos of like the crazy orbs that circle the plane and then it literally disappears. I don't know if that's real or not, but they have like, I've seen videos of that happening. I don't know if that's like recreated. Didn't look like AI. It looked like a real video, but it was from like another plane tracking it. Okay, so it didn't happen in the Devil's Triangle. The bloop was very close to there. Unique microbial life. Although Point Nemo may be lacking in large marine animals, it is home to a unique community of microorganisms. These extremophiles, which are organisms that can survive in extreme environments, have adapted to the nutrient-poor conditions of the region. Yeah, you're right, like nothing can grow out there except for these special bacteria. But what makes it so uninhabitable?
Right?
Like it's just a part of the ocean, just like every other part of the ocean.
Literally.
Like what's uninhabitable about it?
What wall, like what changes, what pressure? That was weird. Was that me?
Yeah. It's due to an... What? It's uninhabitable by plant life primarily due to its extreme remoteness and poor nutrient conditions. Okay. Why is there no nutrients at Point Nemo? Like, why would there be more nutrients in one part of the ocean than another? Okay. Point Nemo is located far from land, which means it receives little nutrient runoff from rivers or soil. Additionally, its position within the South Pacific gyre limits the flow of nutrient-rich waters, creating a biological desert with very few nutrients available for marine life. All right, we're gonna go straight for the jugular. Aliens at Point Nemo. We're going for the jugular. It has space junk and a sea monster. Sounds like my kind of website right here. Oh yeah, there you go. It does say right there. It's Latin for nobody. But also because in his later novel, The Mysterious Island, Verne revealed that the base for Nemo's Nautilus to be an island in the South Pacific, subsequently destroyed by a volcanic eruption. See, so volcanoes can take out islands, why can't it take out a continent? Know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, portal. Seriously, abundantly empowered. It probably is a portal, I swear. The Russian space program has had its eye on this part of the South Pacific for some time, even before its official designation as Point Nemo. It was obvious that this remote part of the world was an ideal place to dispose of space junk. They're just like, where should we dump this space junk? How about the most remote place on Earth? It's called the Mir Space Station. I couldn't remember the name of it. The Russian space station. Okay, here we go. So the call of... Decades before Point Nemo was named and before satellites started raining down, H.P. Lovecraft used these lonely waters as the setting for Rolea, A Nightmare Corpse City. Okay, never mind. I don't really care about any of that. It's so remote that it's doubtful whether anyone has ever consciously visited yet. I read somewhere that a guy did go out there and visit it, like did sail through that area. I don't feel like they talked about anything weird having to do with... They don't talk about anything weird in that article talking about weird stuff that happens. I was hoping there'd be something about aliens on there. Alright, Point Nemo portal. Yeah, and I've been reading a lot about portals in the, like just a lot about portals, especially with the Grand Canyon stuff being a portal to Egypt, or like being the original Egypt. Like I honestly don't even really understand the theory or argument that they're making, but I'm like captivated by it because there's really there's multiple, actually most of the Grand Canyon is inaccessible by people. It's like super regulated by the government. They don't let you just go walking around anywhere.
Yeah, that is weird.
Nothing about it being a portal. Let's just see what Grok has to say when we ask him if it is a portal. I'm gonna find, actually Grok found it for me earlier. I'll have to pull it up. Oh yeah, USO. My bad. Okay, so let me go find this. There was a video that I wanted to pull up of this. There's like USOs, unidentified submersible objects, that we've caught on camera that are pretty wild. They're usually orbs, but there's this one that's freaking wild, dude. The jellyfish thing. So crazy, like literally freaking so crazy. Oh, here it is, this one. Too many chats. Yeah, okay, this is the jellyfish thing. Have you guys, did you guys watch the, what was it, Alien Confidential or whatever? It was, I can't remember what it was called, but George Knapp's documentary from 2024 on Netflix about the alien stuff. This is where I saw this at, which is pretty crazy, but let's watch the video. Because the video's wild. Really crazy. I don't think there's any sound anyway, so. This thing freaks me out. It goes in and out. These are thermal cameras, so it's picking up on heat, so nobody can see this with the naked eye. Jellyfish do look like aliens, right? This thing is wild the way that it almost seems like it's taking in the color. I don't even know, it's just like heat signals, so maybe it's just... This thing even goes across this military base in China, I can't remember where it was. Oh, Iraq, my bad. It just flies right through this crazy military base. Just floating. What is that?
It makes me look like orbs that are the
Jellyfish already scared me. Look exactly what it looks like. I love that this camera picked it up. I wonder what this camera is. It's obviously unreleased. Military. I hope it shows it because this thing, I don't think I haven't seen it happen, but this thing goes all the way to a body of water and then goes into the water. It's a freaking jellyfish that just flies through the air and then goes into it. That's insane. Almost at the end, I don't think we've ever seen it. Tell me that's not the creepiest thing you ever saw in your life.
The year is 1959.
Yeah, right? Let's see, there's another couple of them that this one's stabilized. Yeah, you get a better view. You can't even see it. What are you talking about, dude? Oh, there's a 17-minute cut. I just want to see it go in the water because that is, to me, the craziest part.
What's up, better?
This dude. Where even is it? Track this thing for 17 minutes. That's so crazy. I really want to see it go in the water. So it doesn't actually do that. I read that it does, so I don't know why they said that, but that thing is crazy. But then there's also some other ones. I think there's this one. I don't remember, let me look, because Grok explained it real quick. The Aguadilla 2013 Transmedium UAP, the one that dips in and out of water, splits into, and the USS Omaha 2019 Spherical Dive. Alright, let's watch this one. It splits in two, apparently. But I mean, if you were an alien and you were trying to hide on Earth, the most logical, obvious place would be the water, because people aren't there. That would be my thought, anyways. I mean, no matter what, no matter if that thing is going in and out of the water or not, that is wild. What is that? This is 2016, before drones were a thing, so it's not a drone. I just want to see it do the water thing. I think it's called Investigation Alien or something, but that's a really good UFO series if you haven't watched it. Super good, lots of really good footage. George Knapp is the GOAT. This thing's pretty crazy. Damn, this is kind of a long video. I think it is just circling. Somebody said, is this the one that looks like it's, or that circles over and over? I think it is just doing a circle around this, whatever this is. Probably a compound, military compound. That's always the interesting piece to me, is that it's always military bases that they're concerned with, which is understandable because of the nukes and the crazy stuff that they have going on. The whole story about the nuclear facility that had like a UFO come hover like right over the top of it and disable all of their nuclear missile launch. Like all of the nuclear missiles were disabled at once, which is not something that can even be done. Like one person can't do it. It takes like multiple people to actually disable them.
Yeah, that's
and it was all like all 9 or 10 of them were disabled at the same time from this UAP. Oh wait, is that it right there? Just went in the water? I can't tell if that's water or not. Because it looks like it's going under. Yeah, it looks like it's going down and then popping up. This is wild, dude. Oh, yeah, wait. No, we missed the split. It splits in two out of nowhere. Yeah, look, what? Now there's two of them. What the hell, dude? This is crazy. Disarm. Off. And I can't tell if that's water or not. Like, I don't know. This grainy video is not very good. Military needs to get their cameras upgraded. God, I think it just went back into the water. Like, it's just gone. Now I can't find anything. And are these just motion sensor activated, so they just follow whatever? That was pretty wild. I've never seen that video, actually. The last piece, because we should probably get off here soon so we can put Bodhi to bed. But the last thing that I wanted to talk about was the black hole in the ocean. I think that's just the same video. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but this is what they say is the black hole in the ocean. And I want to see if I can figure out where I can find it. Because I want to go to, oh, here we go. Easy money. Vostok Island. Is there any? You can't. So this, somebody spotted this on Google Maps, and they were like, oh, this has to be a black hole. Like, why is it just so dark and, like, has this ring, and it looks like stuff is, like, being sucked into it. It definitely does look like it could be a black hole or some weird portal. It's also kind of blurry, like, around all the edges. But technically, it's just an island. It's just an island in the middle of I mean, honestly, kind of close to, I wouldn't say real, but definitely kind of close to Point Nemo. Because Point Nemo is going to be like out here somewhere. I don't know, it's a little further south. But it's up over here. I'll have to go back because I can't find it. But they say that this is a black hole because of how dark it is. But then, let me pull this up. This is what they say it actually is this island right here. And they say it's just super dark. But this island is just like in the middle of the ocean, just chilling. And I don't know, there's speculation that they're just saying that this is what it is. But maybe this is what I was thinking. This is where a guy has actually traveled to.
Yeah.
He visited Vostok Island.
I hate to do this, but I'm gonna motherly duties call. I think Bodhi's having a hard time falling asleep, so I'm gonna go take care of that. I did send you a couple videos that talk about like Agartha and the cities that are said to be beneath us. And there's one with the lady. She seems to kind of fact check some of the theories, and I don't know, it's kind of interesting. But it was really nice hanging out with everyone. Love you guys. Have a good
Thanks
night.
for being on, Kim. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for researching, finding stuff to talk about. And yeah, we'll do it again. We'll find some other topics to talk about. I guess let's pull up these videos that Kim sent because I'm curious, but then I'll probably hop off after that too. But I don't know, we definitely covered a few different weird anomalies in the Pacific Ocean. That is 100%. There's a lot of weird stuff, and I'm sure there's way more than what we talked about even. I think I saw this video, but let me get the sound going here. Where is my mouse?
Thanks for the love, guys. Good night.
Why is my mouse not showing up on here? What the hell?
Your mic is crackling, by the way, like your voice.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I can't even access
can't even access this window over here on my other screen. What's going on right now? Okay, well, I guess we're stuck. Because it's muted. What the shoot? Alright, I guess I'll just unpair the screen. This is really annoying. Alright, let's go ahead and undo the screen because I want to watch these videos. Oh wait, the screen is actually undone. Alright, I'll just mute me.
This man went viral for exposing living creatures beneath our feet, then vanished without trace. The interview that got him erased is now playing.
So, I don't know, I feel like this picture makes it look like way more of a black hole. Black holes on Earth. The black hole theory in space was only theoretical until the 50s and early 60s when scientists began to apply the theory of relativity. Oh yeah, thank you guys. Sorry, I get distracted. It's hard to make sure everything's doing what it's supposed to do. Oops. Through decades of research and calculation, scientists have now more or less accepted the existence of black holes as truth, but they never expected to find them right here on Earth. Scientists from the ETH Zurich and University of Miami discovered what could reasonably be called black holes in the middle of the ocean. These water-bound black holes are mathematically equivalent to black holes in space. They exhibit many of the same characteristics of space black holes. Nothing that gets too close to them can escape, including water. So where do they go? These black holes are giant rotating eddies, can span up to 90 miles in diameter, and have been observed drifting around the ocean for up to a year. So is it just like a spinning vortex of water that sends you to the bottom of the ocean? Yeah, I don't know what the issue is with the... Oh, you know what? Maybe it's because Kim's got her mic right here. No, she turned it off. Very weird. I don't know. I don't really know what's going on. Yo, what up, Mega Freebird? How are you? All right, we'll put it back in there. The DJI mics are sick, but yeah, I'm sure that they're not foolproof. The ocean-bound massive eddies help to distribute warm and salty water and microorganisms like plankton around the ocean. They also pick up pollutants like oil and plastics. They do not lose a single drop of water on their travels. They take everything that they pick up with them until they dissipate in a new location. So they dissipate eventually?
I mean, Dad.
What?
The air thing is actually really messing up what Mom hears. It's actually really, really messing it up.
Oh yeah? Like the sound?
And so is your voice is glitching, even with like the air conditioner off.
Something's going on because I couldn't... There's a lot of things going on wrong right now because I couldn't move my mouse to the other screen randomly. And then
the sound. My video wouldn't play, so I don't know what's going on. Things are bogged down right now. The black holes in the ocean thing is kind of wild. That is kind of freaky. Wouldn't you be scared as shit if you were a ship sailing around and you're like, holy cow, what? All right, I'm gonna try this again. Nope. Yeah, why won't it play? That's weird. That's super weird. Maybe we'll try it with Brave. Oh, no. Now I just think it's TikTok. Okay, well, let's try the other one that she sent. Sorry, guys. It's kind of lame. Yeah, see, this one works fine. Okay.
NASA scanners detect a hidden base under the Arctic ice. And this is real news. Okay, so as you can see right here, they have new equipment that detected it. Okay, so this is an abandoned city. It is a secret military base that is under the ice that I believe is from the Cold War times. But I'm going to use this to talk about a very interesting subject that might expand on this and images they're not showing us about Middle Earth. I bet there's a lot more than this. Okay, have you heard of Agartha? At first, this might sound total bonkers that there is a world within our world. But let me just tickle your brain. I just have a weird intuitive feeling there is something in the middle of our Earth that we don't know about. Whether it's actually in our world or just in another dimension on top of us, I do not know, but I'm obsessed with this. So Agartha is a legendary kingdom that's said to be on the inner surface of Earth. We actually don't know what the core really is still. It is also called Hollow Earth, and is also associated with the mythical kingdom Shambhala. We'll come back to Shambhala in a second, what it has to do with plasma. There are also many movies about Middle Earth, as you can see here. Obviously, Lord of the Rings. Strange World is a very interesting movie. I think it has to do with plasma as well. The fourth state of matter, yes. Literally a plasma world within the Earth. There was also someone named Admiral Richard E. Byrd. He did a lot of stuff with the military, and he claimed he flew over Antarctica and saw a hidden civilization within Earth at the pole. This was him. Listen, he did do a lot, as I said, with the flying and the government. There are also people in history that have written about him saying the same thing, and also about UFOs coming out of the inside of Earth. Yeah, there's a lot on this guy, and I don't know if it's true or not. Do your own research, but it is interesting. There's a whole book about it that I recommend if you're interested in this, called The Hollow Earth. And trust me, I'm gonna link this to some very interesting things. But basically, the book talks about extraterrestrials that are actually our ancestors, come here from all over the Milky Way galaxy, from dimensions of times. Some of them are from the inner Earth or Agartha, diverse races of advanced humans. It's interesting. There's also something called the Piri Reis map, compiled in the 1513. It was a lost map, I guess, by Christopher Columbus. And supposedly this map shows Antarctica without ice. Oh, it says right here, a disproven 20th century hypothesis about the ice-free Antarctic coast. But can we really trust this? I don't know. I don't trust a lot these days. You know? What I trust is my intuition, and I know this is one of my more bizarre beliefs, but I really am a stan girl for the Middle Earth theory. I love it. I'm obsessed with it. There are also some weird things about the poles, such as magnetic anomalies. Supposedly, there is some thoughts that there are underground civilizations or advanced beings and their entrances at the poles, and that's why they're so highly guarded. Because, like, yes, I know it's cold, but, like, when has anyone ever cared about that? Or, like, I don't know. Usually if something's closed off, they're not protecting us, they're protecting what's closed off. And I know I'm being a conspiracy theorist, but once again, I'm obsessed with Middle Earth. Also, remember the article I just showed you in the beginning where there actually are underground bases? From 50 years ago. Are you kidding me? We have way more technology and we're way more advanced than we think. So one of the primary magnetic anomalies is a significant concentration of magnetic field strength at the poles. Here's the thing. Okay, let me just show you. I know this might not be true, but I think Earth has a toroidal field just like our bodies do. Is there a hole in my head? No. There is a hole on the other end. That was the grossest joke I've ever told. My point is, this Middle Earth might actually be an energetic, other dimensional level, like I'm saying. Anything's possible these days. Or maybe there's actually a civilization within Earth. All I know is there's definitely underground bases from that article. And that's only what they tell.
I just wanted to stop that real quick because there definitely is a field just like she's talking about. It's called the Van Allen belts. The Van Allen belts are literally just this giant like magnetic electrical field of like protons and electrons floating around the Earth, which is what makes it so radioactive. But the Van Allen belts, but they were used at one point. I was like, well, I wonder if they ever tried to use the Van Allen belts to harness electricity from that area, because it's essentially just a bunch of free floating electrons and all this other stuff. They could use that to harness and create free energy or make energy out of it. And they did try. It's just not a very good, like the method to do it involves sending stuff up into that stratosphere or into the Van Allen belts and having something tethered back to Earth that is transferring the energy. But she's definitely right. The Earth does have its very own like aura, kind of electromagnetic aura of a, like, I don't even know what I'm trying to say, like a just hovering outside of it.
And I don't know who they are, but that's fine. I don't like to lie or hype you up for no reason. So once again, I'm not sure if this is true, but I'm going to speculate now on some very interesting things. So Antarctica does exhibit unusual magnetic and gravitational anomalies. There's something called the Wilkes Land Anomaly, suggesting a massive object is buried beneath the ice. They say potentially meteorite impact crater. Other people obviously think there's materials or structures there. And if it's anything like the article we saw, I mean, hello, maybe. There are also gravity fluctuations that are weird. Okay, so I plugged into ChatGPT with my plasma theories. Basically, I have a theory that there is a special type of plasma. It's akin to a living ether. It permeates everything. It is what everything is made out of at different densities and levels. You could think of it as chi, prana, energy. It is like the energetic blueprint to everything that our consciousness molds. And so how this relates to Hollow Earth, it might not be hollow in a literal sense, but
ya hablamos sobre quién.
NASA scanners detect a hidden base under the Arctic ice. Substructures, like we see here, where Earth's womb is, Earth's memory is, how Earth has a soul.
I didn't mean to do that.
There are many ancient mythologies that also speak of these subterranean realms as spiritual or energetic nexuses, like the Shambhala. So basically, Shambhala, which I'm probably saying wrong, like I always do, is a Sanskrit word for a place of peace or place of silence. It's a mythical paradise. It predates Tibetan Buddhism. It's a place of love and wisdom where people are immune to suffering or old age. I think this is literally kind of like this interdimensional fifth dimensional realm. Interestingly enough, it's also called the land of living fire and plasma. Living fire, plasma, same thing. There's a lot of cosmology and other, like Hindu cosmology, which kind of lends itself to the fact of there being kind of other layers. Same here. I'm just basically positing that there is some type of energetic toroidal twister wormhole in the middle of our Earth, and this is where other dimensions are held, in my opinion. And I think it's a fourth dimensional kind of vortex that you can access a higher dimensions from. I think this is where we can go when we meditate, lucid dream, astral project, whatever. I also think it's obviously the womb of Earth. Also something very interesting. So in my plasma theories, when something is very cold, just like when something is very hot, it kind of speeds up the interaction between plasma or energy with our consciousness. Basically, if something's really hot or really cold, this is when you can kind of reach these other dimensional layers. Think about it the same as when you're extremely relaxed in meditation or you're extremely high off doing something intimate or getting an exercise high, kind of like that. So maybe these poles are certain access points for these. And to take it a step further, maybe these poles have some weird shit going on, like Stranger Things. Who knows? And the government's testing it. I'm just saying. This also could explain the magnetic and gravitational distortions when the plasma field, that I call it, interacts with physical matter, more so at these very vortexy points. There also might be plasma-based life forms. This is kind of like the interdimensional UFOs they were talking about. And just to link this, it is very interesting. Scientists found what they called a sixth ocean that is underground, our normal ocean, beneath it.
Oh, that's a good point.
And it has crystalline structures that are called ringwoodite. If our oceans did originate from inside the Earth, what I'm saying is this vortexal thing in the Earth might actually be feeding our Earth, influencing our Earth. As I just said, as above, so below. If there's all that space out there, maybe there's all of that inside our Earth too. Kind of like a wormhole. Interesting stuff. This might sound crazy, but let's just see what happens in a few years. I'm well aware it could be wrong, I'm just stating that now. Why this is so interesting, I'll link it with plasma again. So this ringwoodite is not liquid water. It is water trapped in the crystal lattice of the mineral. This is very much like plasma holding consciousness, by the way. This is what it looks like. This ringwoodite literally aligns with what I was just saying about my fourth dimensional plasma. This could be a storage zone proving the energetic framework in the torus, as I was talking about, that Earth has. This could literally be how our Earth soul is reporting back to a higher consciousness, with the ringwoodite serving as some kind of crystal or hidden conduit for energy transfer between dimensions. Think about structured water and how structured water holds memory. This is literally almost like the Earth's brain or memory. It might be alive. So this water and the ringwoodite could symbolize multidimensional water, bridging the third and the fourth dimensional plasma. Think of like the holographic universe. Right. It's almost like this solid thing is forming a framework that we...
Why did I didn't even touch it. I want to finish this.
NASA scan detect. This could literally be how our Earth soul is reporting back to a higher consciousness, with the ringwoodite serving as some kind of crystal or hidden conduit for energy transfer between dimensions. Think about structured water and how structured water holds memory. This is literally almost like the Earth's brain or memory. It might be alive. So this water and the ringwoodite could symbolize multidimensional water, bridging the third and the fourth dimensional plasma. Think of like the holographic universe. It's almost like this solid thing is forming a framework that we can't see, but there's definitely stuff and communication going on. It's the same as calling a phone and talking to someone. No one's seen the energy between you two, but you're talking to someone. I'm telling y'all, I think I'm onto something. I know this is one of my weirder theories. I just wanted to talk about my fascination with Middle Earth and plasma, and the fact that we do have underground bases. We're way ahead of our time. No one's telling us. NASA...
Whoa. Okay. That was a lot. And honestly gives me some stuff to think about for real. It makes me really think that there might really be portals in the ocean that go somewhere. Perhaps into space, perhaps into another dimension, perhaps into the upside down. I don't know, dude. That's pretty wild. And Kim's theory about the water coming from within the Earth is kind of interesting. Multi-dimensional water. Super wild. Well, I don't know. I feel like that video is a lot to unpack. It's almost too much for me to unpack, so I got to watch it again and start in pieces. But I've hit my point, you guys. I think I'm ready to jump off. But I've definitely had fun digging into some Pacifics with you. I think Kim and I are going to continue looking into it because there's more out there for sure with the Pacific Ocean, and then we can move to the Atlantic, because I'm sure there's plenty over there too. We could look at the Bermuda Triangle, maybe do a comparison between the Bermuda Triangle and the Devil's Sea and see which one is more, I don't even know, see which one is going to be more deadly or has more victims, or I don't know how to put it, but that might be a good thing to look at. But Kim and I want to make this a regular thing where we come on, we just chit chat about different topics, or a topic that we decide. I kind of want to just have Kim bring a topic to the table that I don't know about, and we go from there. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I feel like I come up with new ideas for live streams all the time, but just trying to see what works, what people like. So if you guys enjoyed this, definitely throw it in the comments. Let me know so I can make sure we do it again. And I know Kim really wanted to be on here, and she's a huge part of my research process anyways. She helps me find information and sends me videos and things like that. So she's an instrumental part of the channel. And the audio sucks right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and call it. But I really appreciate you guys chilling, hanging, whatever for this long. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks for the love, the super chats. And I look forward to doing this again with you guys next week for another one. But until then, sleep safe, stay sober, stay awake, and later, sobers.